will be lower in store for the investor. Now, if you look at what we have seen so far from this newspaper we have seen, there is a lot of goodies actually in for everybody. Many people really benefited it. The B40, the M40 not so much. For those of you who don't know what's B40, it's the bottom 40, which is really, the market is really targeting a lot of this so-called the poor 40. Okay, and the government's working very hard to really ensure this group comes in, because it's also in line with what I talked about the previous FB, which is the SPV, the Share Prosperity Vision 2030, which was opened up just a week before the budget 2020. Now this is a lot to gather the politics, because coming soon in Malaysia there's also be a by-election in Tanjung Piam. So the coalition government, which is currently Pakatan, need to go in with all this goodie to ensure that all race, regardless where they are, whether it's Malay, Chinese, Indian, Silk, and so forth, Kadazan, Iban, everybody benefited, especially from the Sabah and Sarawak, because over the last 60 years, you could see majority of the Sabah and Sarawak side being ignored, just more on the Semenanjung Malaysia, which is the Peninsula Malaysia, despite Sabah and Sarawak do bring in a lot of oil revenue. So the post-budget was in a way to really look after the sector. But again, some may benefit you personally from in terms of a little bit of relief, I suppose. There, like those of you who have watched the earlier on pre-budget 2020, where I talk about what is a likely sector, and I said before, income tax likely not to be cut, LGBT tax not likely to be cut, but I'm going to recap those in which is very benefit for our investor time frame in here. All right, thank you guys. All right, so okay, so this is what we're going to do, and let's move on. Now, those of you who are new, watching first time, you can type 1 if you're new. Do join our Telegram VSA group in here. Just take a picture of this using your phone QR code, and you will join all our TradeVSA trading idea and not miss any of our stock tip, educational material, YouTube video, sector analysis, macroeconomics. We are one of the Telegram group that are able to cover a full extension, giving you high quality and high content to ensure that you are not miss out in any opportunity that is available right now in here, because we want you to benefit too. All right, so make sure you join our Telegram group, and also please do me a favor, do share this Telegram QR code in your circle of friends so they can benefit too. Thank you very much. Thank you again. All right, let's move on to the next slide. Now, let's go into our so-called budget 2020, really the main meat. Now, on the right-hand side, you see a photo of YouTube that I've done last week or 2 weeks ago, what an investor, and we were not really far out. We got almost 80 to 90% of the point. But let me just go through point by point in here. Okay, let me just get this. Yes, that's right. I'll change it to a laser pointer. Definitely, first of all, which really my surprise was the minimum wages. All right, 1,200 minimum wages for the urban area. Because like it or not, we are talking about poverty in Malaysia, about 950 ringgit. So 1,100, that's the whole of Malaysia, Sabah and Sarawak too. But the minister in here quite smart, only targeting urban areas. So if you're in the rural area, which a lot of people say, hey, what about those plantation? The plantation, there were a lot of workers in there, Sabah and Sarawak, and also in certain central Pahang. Those are rural area. Guess what? It's not affected at all. Only city area, the urban area, where they want to raise the minimum wages to 1,200 ringgit in here, because we all know the cost of living in the city is definitely lower in there. So FGV, will it be affected? Not really much, but there's a lot of goodies coming in here. I think if you read those newspaper, let me just read it in here. The smallholder and Felda settler, almost 550 million ringgit will be available to them. But then again, these are, in my opinion, are really short-term, but very important for this market to recover. What do you want to see? You want to see the recovery in the palm oil prices, and also right now we have this news that India may buy less, maybe around 390,000 metric tons that they buy, which is not a lot, right? We got the surplus almost about 2 to 3 million every month in terms of the extra crude palm oil. Okay, point number 2, definitely you all would know, this is the property sector. The lowering of the property threshold from 1 million to 600k. These are for foreigners for the unsold and complete building. That's why I think you all heard about it. So there are many of this company may able to get rid of this thing that, so that would improve the bottom line. The property sector may see a little bit of improvement, definitely a winning sector, but again, we still have to wait for the stock market to go up. Now the third, number 3 is the high income tax for 2 million above. We used to be 28%. Now if you're earning more than 2 million in here, you have to tax at 30%. Now how many of you earn more than 30%? How many of you are going to be taxed? How many of you, actually I was going to ask, how many of you earn more than 2 million? All right. If you are, then you are the 0.0067%. That's right. 0.0067% of the population, because according to the budget 2020, which I showed here, only 2,000 people out from the 30 million people earn more than 2 million. I say, come on, man. How can this be so small amount? We have 970 public listed company in Bursa, which is almost 49% of the 2,000 people, assuming in each public listed company, okay, you got one CEO and CFO, okay. Maybe they make more, maybe they don't, right? And I still remember Forbes Malaysia as well as the Focus Malaysia do publish some of the richest CEO that was overpaid and overpaid or underpaid. There's some money in here. I think this is where the IRD can go after these people, you know, to get some revenue for the country. I think that's 2,000 is too small. Would you agree or not, right? I think this is a fairly silly number to look at. 0.00767. It's like your top, not even 1%. All right. Then point number 4 is definitely the gaming. I think the gaming for the Magnum, BJ Toto, I don't think this will concern you that much. This Magnum and BJ Toto are more for dividend stocks, but in here we are looking for growth investing, which I also talk about October 19. Special draw days for fewer times a year, I think from 11 to 8 times a year. So gaming, Magnum, they don't have that special, but the usual draw is still going on. There's no surprises on the LGBT income tax, and also remember the removal of the petrol subsidy. Okay, so if you are, you know, I think depending what kind of car that you buy, 1,600cc or above, or 2 cars, and so you will see a little bit of removal, but that is very minimum. Bottom line is the country need more money. So this is the point where point number 3, if you agreed with me that much has been done to really get income from the 30% of the top taxpayer money, give me a thumbs up. Okay, this is where I think the RRD have to work very hard to go after these fellas. Come on, man. 0.0067. There are more of these people around. Give me a thumbs up. Now also let's recap back from the budget 2020 from an investment context standpoint. Okay, so when they say investment context, there's a lot of things, but again it aligned back with the Share Prosperity Vision 2030, the B40 in here. But what really sort of affect the investment landscape, right, is the 21.6 billion for the NFCP. Now NFCP is this National Fiberization and Connectivity Plan, where they intend to connect, but this is not for 1 year, it's for 5 years. I said before in the old video, the reason is because also have continuity. Then there is also 250 million for rural access area projects in Sabah and Sarawak. Again, part of this connectivity, 250 million, again over 5 years, then it's 50 million a year, you divide by 12, one a few projects in here. Then you got the 50 million for the 5G initiative, which I do think is a very small amount. 25 million for the MDEC, 90 million for tourism and Visit 2020 Malaysia. But the big one here is the 1.3 million for the Bumiputera contractor for the infrastructure projects. Right. So going on that, we are still forecasting a 4.8 GDP growth for 2020. Right now, we are 4.9. So I do think next year, 2020, there will be a slowdown. It's all going to be based on the US-China trade war. What's really going to happen to that one here? All right. Now let's look at the sectors, green and losers. Okay, the green one are the winner, the red one are the losers. As I said before, there are more winners and losers, and then you see the one in the middle, the gray one, are sort of like neutral. They are not winner, you know, and they are not loser. The property, the telco, the technology, especially the e-payment, all right, I think many of you would know because of the e-wallet that the government was talking about, the e-payment, so that seemed a bit of spillover effect that everybody is going to, either have a Fave account or Boost account or a touch and go wallet account. But I have to admit, I'm yet to get the Fave account and the Boost account. I will do it soon, very, very soon. And then also the healthcare and the insurance, because they want to boost up the medical, and also the, insurance for the family one, the e-Saham. I think the My Salam coverage, okay? GST, again, GST tend to be very, very a stigma to the Pakatan Harapan. They came in and they won the GE14 is because of GST being removed. But we all know SST currently now remains to be underachieved because they could not get amount of money. Now remember, GST is focused on consumer because only I think 8% or to 10% of population, those are working in Malaysia, are actually being taxed. So there are a lot of people don't really pay tax. So that's where I think the government may want to go back and look at GST for that purpose. Okay. So let's look at the healthcare, tourism, aviation, and they're going to spend like 90 million, remember, on the Visit Malaysia 2020. So that's a lot on conferences and organizers. So AirAsia may get a bit of spillover for more people coming to visit 2020 here in Malaysia. Rubber glove continue to be neutral and consumer product continue. The gaming one is just two counters, Magnum and Berjaya Toto, which is the number forecasting operator. All right, now let's move on. Now also, this is where you want to take the previous slide and align together with the Bursa sector analysis. Now this again, you can get it in a free account to the access to it. So make sure you join our free account on the dashboard. Take a picture on the left hand side so you can join that one. You can see on the area here, energy, technology, telemedia, which align with what we just talked, and also transport, healthcare. All right, now you can see healthcare is number 5 on the sector, but they are coming. So you will notice TradeVSA, we are more top-down approach, unlike a lot of people are bottom-up approach. They look for certain stocks because we find it, especially in an environment where macroeconomics, the impact of US-China trade war, the impact of FDI coming in. If you are investing in Malaysia, don't you think sector is important? If it is, give me a thumbs up. What I've said a lot true. So ignore those. And one of the far-fetched one is the property sector. You can see here, property and finance are sitting very, very far out in here. But that will be a chance for it to move up. Why? Because of those, what we call unsold and built 600, maybe 601,000 and so forth, much property are sort of, been able to go target over to the foreigner over there. So something looks to be very, very positive, and I really like it. So use the sector analysis, which is quite important to align yourself. Now on the telecommunication, now this is again from our premium TradeVSA account. You can see in here we color coded them. Basically we have a certain rules. Go over to YouTube and check out those rules, how we select the stocks. I'm not going to do it here. I'm going to do it on October 19. What are the stocks that I like? Definitely you can see in here DG. What I did was I sorted out by turnover. So these are the telco. Remember, we got DG, we got Axiata, Green Packet, Telecom, Maxis, Opcom, Astro, Benacom, PUC, OCK, Redtone. These are a lot, all in all of them are really telco sector. What are the one that is right? You got to pick the colors. So what we did was we actually trained our members to really look at the color coded one and actually trade from them and use the TradeVSA, which come with Pentagon buy and sell signal to make it so much easier so they can be able to follow right at the time when you go in, right at the time when you go out, just like the FKI slide that I showed earlier on in the first 2 slides. So something which is really good for our members to use this buy and sell signal here. All right, let's go on to the next one. So I will pick those stocks in the respective sectors on October 19. So October 19, we also be launching our Robi, first in Malaysia, our stock market assistant chatbot. So what it does is it's very unique. We got few of our focus groups already try it in there. And if you do come October 19, you will have a chance to install it on your iPhone and your Android. You'll be amazed what it can do with the market. All right, so let's move on. So now let's look at the property sectors also. Property sectors, we do say that is one of the worst. If you look at the Bursa sectors on the almost at the right hand side, which is all red. Now they are coming back. All right, so you got Naim. This is the first one, has already turned greenish in here. So TechMax, Kakan Datang. So these are the counter that we want to look at that, and properties, judging by the, of course, IWC will tend to benefit because of the so-called Iskandar area. They're going to be, try to push it a bit, and we have to look at the charts. Definitely news are coming to trickle in if you do see a buy signal. And again, in my opinion, again, what I will say, said it in October 19, a lot of these are more for trading. It's not something you want to buy and hold. Wait for the signal to get in, buy at the base level, the bottom level support, and you want to exit out at the top there. Okay, then it comes to the technology sector in here. Again, the telco, we did say some of the technology sector will benefit, is the Inari, the Glomax, the Greatex, the Datasonic, the Prestarian. All these tend to do so well. So look at these charts in here. The e-payment gateway does fall under revenue and also GHL. So do look at those two, right? I think those are very nice. So you look at the sectors, the green color one tends to align well back with what we have on the Bursa sector. So they all work in tandem. That's what TradeVSA trying to do, is to align the stocks that you're in the moving stocks, right? Remember, we want to have stocks that you buy moving up and yet undervalued. And that's where Roby will come in and able to assist you on that.